Silo is a pretty interesting film and certainly one that I'm happy to recommend. This was released in 2019. It's directed by Marshall Burnette, written by Burnette and Jason Williamson, with a cast including Jeremy Holm, Jill Paice, Jack DiFalco, Jim Parrack, Chris Ellis, and various others. And this is about a character called Cody, and Cody becomes trapped in a silo with the grain all around him, and needless to say, terrifying experience. It's a race against time to try and save him. And what I will say, and I kind of wish they did this at the beginning, but it makes more sense to put it at the end. But at the end, there are some statistics on screen about how common this is, and I won't spoil it by giving away these statistics. It's worth watching the film. But we are told that this is common and it can often be fatal. And I kind of wish they'd put that at the beginning of the film, because telling me that this actually happens quite frequently, or things like this can happen frequently, having that knowledge would have made it all the more emotional. So it's not a criticism that they were putting it at the end. Usually it does happen at the end of films like this, but having that information after the fact, when I could reflect on the film, definitely made it a bit more powerful, and honestly quite a scary concept. We have some really great pacing. We get to know the characters a little bit before the disaster happens, and it becomes a race against the clock to try and save Cody. The film's maybe not as intense as I was expecting. I was expecting it to be slightly more of a thriller, whereas I feel like it's a bit more of a drama. There's a lot of emotion, but it's on the slightly calmer side. It's not quite as dramatic as a thriller, in my opinion. But it's still intense, nevertheless. It's still quite gripping, and I wanted the best for the characters. I wanted Cody to be saved. Whether or not he does, I won't say. And I'll be honest, I had no idea which direction it would take. And obviously, I'm not going to say what happens, but I was very emotionally invested in this one and very keen to find out what would happen. Visually, it's satisfying. We have some great camera work. The music's great as well. I didn't love some of the lighting, but it's not that it's badly done, it's just a style choice. The lighting inside the silo, I think, is perfect, because I feel like it could have been a really dark environment, but they didn't make it too dark that we couldn't see anything. It felt very believable. I don't know if that's what the lighting would be like, but certainly it was I don't want to say pleasant to watch, that's maybe not the right word, but it was believable and comfortable to watch. I didn't feel like I was squinting. I didn't feel like there were any issues with the lighting in those moments. The lighting outside of the silo, I didn't love. It's got a kind of soft glow to it, and it's just not my personal preference. But again, that's their style choice. It's not that it's badly done, it's just that it's not for me. The performances are great, the characters are believable, and as I said, the story felt believable. It felt realistic. It was easy to buy into. I have no idea if this is exactly how things would play out in reality, but it was convincing. And if anybody has any thoughts on that, please feel free to share. And it's certainly an interesting film, and something I'd never considered before. I'll be honest, I didn't even know grain was kept in silos. That's how weak my knowledge was. So I certainly got quite an education here. And then those statistics at the end of the film, honestly surprising and difficult to receive, actually. So maybe it was best that we didn't get those stats until the end, because it really shook me afterwards. But again, had I known that it's quite prevalent from the beginning of the film, I would have had in my mind that this is something that many people unfortunately experience. Many people get stuck into Cody's position on many occasions, and that would be an even more moving film. So I guess I can just say, apparently this kind of thing happens far too frequently, and this makes it a much more emotional film. Definitely worth watching, a decent experience. Silo was eye-opening, thought-provoking, enjoyable in the right reasons, certainly emotional, and definitely a film that I'm happy to recommend.